For me, so I'm a licensed CPA in the state of Texas. I've been doing accounting for about 13 years, taxes for about 6. Really started my business more so to help the public, okay? So CPAs, doctors, lawyers, you're able to charge X amount of rates, right? But everybody can afford that. For me, I've been in customer service regardless of the industry I've been in. And for me, I want to bridge that gap. I provide great service, mostly word of mouth. My website's not even complete yet. But I've built my business from roughly 20, 25 individuals, family, friends, to about 250 clients in about 3 years. Okay? So that being said, I always say I don't have that many clients by accident. So for me, John's been killing the game in this industry with this platform, and we've been talking about this for a while, so I'm glad to kind of bring this full circle. So for me in the service industry, as he said earlier, a lot of people don't know what to do, where to start, when to file your taxes, start making a lot of money, what do you do with it? So for me, I wanted to come in today. Taxes are always a frustrating thing to talk about. 9 times out of 10 when I bring something up, a lot of people, they shun from it. Okay? So if we put some tequila in front of you, you might loosen up a little bit. And with that being said, you might be able to have a better conversation in that aspect. Section is going to be some nitty-gritty stuff. This is stuff that you're not going to see online. Someone's probably not going to read it to you in a book. Okay? I'm going to give you some personal experiences. I'm going to give you the real. All about transparency, all about education. Okay? Number 1, social media is awesome. But 9 times out of 10, all I ever hear in regards to this space is write off an expense, start an LLC. You can just go buy a G-Wagon, okay? Now, writing off expenses is a good thing, okay? Taking that into consideration. But at the same time, I always say, and I'm trying to change the narrative, and I hope y'all can help me change the narrative. Focus on making money, okay? You focus on making money, the expenses will come. The more money you make, the more traveling you're gonna have to do, more employees you're gonna have to hire, you have to get a new laptop, things of that nature. So focus on making money, okay? Now, I use the G-Wagon example because I get that question every year. Can you go buy a G-Wagon and depreciate it? Absolutely. The problem is, in that aspect, they do not tell you the full story, okay? G-Wagons are upwards of $150,000, okay? Now, you can go buy that vehicle. If you're making that money, by all means, treat yourself. Just because you depreciate it, that does not mean you will not have that car note of about $2,500. I have 2 Mercedes, so I know how much they cost. I don't have a G-Wagon though, okay? Don't forget about that car note, okay? Don't forget about the insurance. Your oil change is gonna be about $1,000, okay? Don't forget about the tires. Your gas is gonna be, 8 miles to the gallon. All that stuff they don't tell you. Secondly, if you depreciate the vehicle, going back to expenses, you cannot sell that vehicle for 5 years. The IRS is not stupid. They're not gonna let you purchase a vehicle, take a business expense, and then go flip the vehicle next year, okay? So focus on making money. The more money you make, the more expenses you can write off, okay? I had a friend of mine who used to work at Chase. He called me one day and he's like, I see how people do it now. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, this guy just bought a Ferrari and he paid no taxes. I'm like, what are you talking about? Some individuals, they want to make a lot of money, spend a lot of money, and not pay any tax. That's completely fine. If you want to do that, by all means. Last year, with my business and my 9 to 5, I paid 0 taxes. You don't believe me? Ask Andy, okay? Now, there's ways to do that. But at the same time, some individuals want to make a lot of money, spend a little bit of money, pay some tax, take that retained earnings, funnel it back into the company, grow the company to make more money, okay? It depends on what you want to do. Do not be afraid to pay taxes. If you go to the grocery store, you pay sales tax. You buy a car, you pay sales tax. You purchase a home, you pay property taxes. There's never going to be a time that you get away from taxes, okay? But if you structure it to where you can minimize it or not pay any if you can, you'll be able to get over on Uncle Sam every now and then, but not every single year, okay? Number 2 in this category, reporting your revenue, okay? I'm gonna give a real life scenario. When COVID happened, everybody was gung-ho on PPP loans, okay? I got probably 15 of my clients upwards of $200,000 in loans, okay, that they did not have to pay back. 2 individuals, and it does not depend on age. I have a client that's killing it. I think he's 26 now. Been helping him since he was like 23, okay? Got him about $20,000, okay? Free money. But then I also had some clients that had businesses. And one thing I will point out in regards to CPAs, tax professionals, we are not the IRS police. I cannot force you to report in your income. If you don't want to report it, I can't twist your arm and make you do it, okay? But those individuals came to me and said, hey, how come I can't get a PPP loan? So I was transparent. I'm a very real CPA, okay? Does the IRS or the state know that you have a business? No. Have you ever filed your taxes in regards to your business? No. Have you ever done any type of reporting to let the IRS, the state know that you have a business to begin with? Answer is no. Okay. So for me, if you're already getting untaxed money, you cannot double dip. You're not going to be able to get untaxed money and get a PPP loan, a grant, anything of that nature to help grow your business if you're not reporting it, okay? That is why I say report your income. Talked to John about it previously. It's not a bad thing. Reporting income shows that you're growing, you're helping the economy. You're able to do things for your business, help individuals, other people get jobs, do things that help grow your business. And if you're able to do that, you'll be able to get things from different entities to help funnel that, okay? So those individuals, like I said, you're already winning. You're not reporting in your income and you're not getting taxed on it. But don't be surprised if you can't get anything else to grow your business in that aspect as well, okay? Last topic I'm going to touch on is something John had brought up, tax on tips, okay? I think Kamala Harris and Donald Trump have this on their docket right now, okay? For me, when it comes down to changes in the tax law, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But a lot of times, if it affects you in a positive way, it's going to affect someone else in a negative way, okay? I'll give you an example with student loan forgiveness, okay? When President Biden got in office, everyone was gung-ho, hey, student loan forgiveness, right? There's a law in place to where anytime you have any of your debt canceled, a vehicle, student loans, things like that, you usually get a 1099-C in the mail, okay? It's cancellation of debt. 9 times out of 10, you have to pay tax on the debt that's forgiven, okay? Anytime you see the game shows where someone wins a car, they might win the car, but they have to pay the tax on it, okay? There's also an executive order where the president can waive that, okay? So circling back to the tax on tips, if that gets passed, to me, I feel like there's going to be something in the shadows that's going to affect you. There's going to be a threshold after 50K, maybe you're taxed at a tax rate that makes up for what you didn't pay. Maybe there's going to be something else that they bring into play in regards to that. So even if it sounds like a great idea, there's always something behind the scenes that's going to affect you in maybe not as positive way as you think. So before it gets passed, if it gets passed, just pump the brakes. And it goes back to what I said previously. Focus on making money. Focus on making money. You'll be able to write off expenses, benefit your business, and not pay any tax if possible with the right planning, tax strategies that you bring to the table, okay? So that is my last topic for this section of the burn. Have a quick Q&A section if y'all have any questions that I can answer. I'm very transparent. If I do not know the answer, I'll tell you I do not know. I'll do some research. I have a lot of colleagues I can ask as well. But the floor is open if you have any specific questions you'd like me to answer.
Hi. So, on my check, it's 0. I'm a bartender, server, whatever.
Yes.
None of my taxes are going to federal taxes. They're all going to Social Security and
Yes,
Medicare.
correct.
So should I redo my W-4 or should I call the people? Should I call the payroll company and say, hey, like, fix this? Or, like, what do I do? Because I don't want to pay $6,000.
Okay, so in your situation, I hear this all the time. Based on your hourly wage, the tax that will be withheld will be very minimal. So even if you don't pay into the IRS, I recommend you can always set up a separate bank account, okay? It's the same thing. It's either the IRS holds your money or you hold your money. I'm not gonna name any establishments, but I know a lot of them do not withhold tax. I've seen people call, complain, quit, go to different.
But, like, that's allowed.
Technically, no, but at the same time, I've heard a lot of situations to where if I bring this up again, I might get fired. So for me, to save the headache, like I said, if you're paying in on your W-2, it doesn't matter. It's going to the IRS. They're going to hold it to when you have to file your taxes. You can take out X amount. I can help you do a projection to see how much you might owe. But you can either make quarterly payments, monthly payments. The IRS is never going to turn down your money.
I signed a 36-month deal with the IRS to
Gotcha.
pay them monthly. And
Okay,
so,
there you go. And it's a headache because now they charge to set up payment plans. So,
Also, someone mentioned to me that if there's no, like, basically whenever you get a job, like, you're supposed to have, like, the handbook or, like, whatever,
Yes.
all that stuff presented to you.
yes.
So if there's nothing in the handbook that says, like, if there's no handbook, basically, can I write off, like, getting my hair done, buying clothes, like, stuff like that? Is that allowed?
So that depends on how you're paid, okay? No, me and John talked about this as well. If you are a 1099 employee, absolutely, because you're treated as an independent contractor.
Okay.
You do not have to have a business set up because sometimes you'll get a 1099 this year and the next year you won't. there's no need to set up one if you're just going to, switch back and forth every year. If you're a W-2 employee, no, you cannot. Unfortunately, because that is how you were paid, being paid by a company in that aspect, you do not get the benefits of having the ability to write off certain expenses. One question I get all the time, especially when COVID happened, individuals that are W-2, hey, can I write off my home office expense? The answer is no. A lot of times companies will give you a stipend for your internet or something like that, but since you are paid by that employer and you're working from home, it's technically not your home office. You're working for them at that point in time. But if you do things on the side, even if you don't make a lot of money, like I said, you can offset some of those expenses, get some of that tax that you have paid in back. But as a W-2 employee, unfortunately, the answer is no.
Okay, I have one more question.
No.
So I went to a lady 2 years ago
Okay.
to file. I owed $6,000, but there was a penalty on it because I filed late or whatever.
Gotcha.
Last year I went to somebody new,
Okay.
and I only owed $1,400
Okay.
because she did a whole bunch of stuff.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
so
Heard
should
that all
I
the time.
be worried?
Should you be worried? Yes and no. So personally, I'm not a mechanic.
Am I getting audited?
Well,
They'll run out of space and they'll start giving everyone taxes.
exactly. I could sit here all day and tell you stories about individuals that have been in that situation. I'm helping 2 individuals that are getting audited right now. Okay, if
I
something,
zelled her also. So is that
It's-
normal?
it's
like,
okay.
okay.
it's not a big deal, but you have to pay attention to it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll use this example. My brother-in-law is certified automotive tech. He can literally take a transmission apart, piece by piece, put it back together with his eyes closed. I know how to pump gas, change my air filter, things like that,
Exactly.
right? But I don't mind trying to learn something, hopping on YouTube, asking questions, right? But when it gets to a certain point, I will go to a professional, okay? Just because you're a tax preparer, that's a difference. Tax preparers are not CPAs. I went to school for 10 years, okay? Undergrad, 4.5, grad school right at 2.5, 2.5 years of study for my CPA, okay? It drives me crazy, I'm getting on a tangent, when I see professionals do fraudulent things and all that work that you did is gone because now you're stripped of your license, okay? If you have a tax preparer helping you, ask questions because you're paying them money, okay? And look over your return, okay? Even if it looks foreign and if it's too good to be true, you need to ask questions.
I brought them with me.
I'll take a look at them and I guarantee you I can tell you in 30 seconds, what happened. You might not have any issues. I've heard that before. They did some stuff. I can show you how to do things the right way. Like I said, I literally paid 0 tax last year and everything is legit, okay? I can show you how to do that. I'm all about, I don't know if I can say this on camera, I'm all about legally screwing the IRS over. I can show you the loopholes, the gray area, but you can't wake up on December 31st and say, what do I do? Okay, so I'll be glad to look at them for you and let you know if you're going to jail or not.
Thank
I mean,
you.
sorry, that slipped out.
If I go to jail, whatever.
No.
Well, I was gonna ask because I did live streaming, got some income, but I
Okay.
also did investments. I tried to put that under one thing when I
Gotcha.
filed,
Okay.
and they said
You wouldn't be able to.
they said because I was trying to declare like a tax write-off for working in my own apartment since it's all computer
Gotcha.
work. They said the certain amount that I made
Okay.
wasn't really something to report on.
Okay.
I think it was under 10,000.
Okay.
So I don't know if that was like a reason or like there's limits to where you can actually start actually writing off certain things.
So you can write off expenses from the jump. A lot of times I have clients to where in the first year, say you're in real estate and you're doing advertising, you're marketing, you're probably not going to make any money. You can still take those expenses, but the problem is you cannot do that year over year. The IRS treats it as a hobby, and then they're going to shut you down. They won't let you. If you don't make any money, you can still write off expenses. I'd have to look at that specific situation because I'm not sure what that entails. In that aspect, I don't know if you have a business set up, but if you do have things that are completely different, they won't let you report it under the same category. There's a NAICS code that you have to put on your tax return explaining what it does, what the business does. So if you have real estate and bartending, those do not go hand in hand. So you're going to have to set up a different entity for both. But definitely love to look at that and help you out so we can get to the bottom of it.
So I do a lot of like consulting or like, just helping out with menus, creating stuff, and then
Gotcha.
they ask for an invoice.
Okay.
I'm at a point where like I want to keep diving into that, and I just want to, how should I report it?
Okay.
Should I create a tax ID number now,
Gotcha.
or because like I have my normal, 5 days a week job, and that's plenty.
Gotcha.
But now I'm doing a bunch of side stuff, and it gets, I do a lot during the holidays.
Okay.
And then like I'm so weeded that I just like, sure, pay me cash.
Gotcha.
Sure. Here's my Zelle.
Okay. For me, like I said, I said this earlier, I don't know if you're here, it depends on you, okay?
Right.
If you want to set yourself apart from the business, from your 9 to 5, your social security number, then I would recommend it. One thing I didn't say earlier, in regards to the tiers of a business, single member, partnership, corporation, S Corp, corporation, okay? This isn't on paper, but for me, if you do more reporting, the IRS kind of leaves you alone more so, okay? You're not going to set up a partnership, pay X amount of tax fees, file this return, pay quarterly fees, all that kind of stuff to be fraudulent, okay? So the higher up the ladder you go, to me, it's like they leave you alone. That's why I said Schedule C is the most scrutinized, because it's the most easiest. You can set one up on paper, you can set one up on your tax return, even if you don't have a legal entity set up. So if you feel like you're at that point, I recommend it. Or where Andy went. Being in my profession, I don't even have a accounting system. I use Excel. I make my own invoices and stuff like that. Saves you money. But some individuals, they just want to be crazy organized and they have QuickBooks from day one. So I can't give you a specific answer for your situation, but if you're a pretty organized individual, I would say, save that money. Don't pay to someone else. Don't pay QuickBooks. Don't get a subscription. Do it yourself. But then if you ramp up quickly, you can make that transition if you feel like it.
Okay, so if somebody sends you money, is that like considered a gift? So like you don't have to pay taxes on it.
So yeah, gift taxes. I'm not going to get in that. That's a whole nother scenario. Sidebar on that.
Bullet points.
Yeah,
Right.
sidebar on that. The IRS changed that some years back because a lot of wealthy individuals would.
Like if my reported income is different than the amount that I deposit.
No,
like,
it's not that granular.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example. Some of y'all might have heard this probably last year, 2 years ago, when they said they're going to start 1099ing people that use Zelle. It's not going to happen. I don't see it foresee it happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
Because, for instance, I send my mom money every month. Okay, that's not income to her. It's
Yeah.
I'm helping her with her car note, something like that. So for them to try and regulate that, it's going to be very, very difficult. As soon as they said they were going to do it, I said, no, you're not. Okay, and it still hasn't happened.
Okay.
Cash App, PayPal, it might be something for a trip that you're going with your friends. It's not income. So until
Yeah.
they find a way to regulate it, I even thought they might put a number on there. Is this, revenue? Is it for a payment? Is it this or that? All you have to do is select the one that it isn't, and they still wouldn't know what you're actually paying somebody for.
Okay,
So,
that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
So don't feel like they're looking through your bank account and,
That's
tying
what I
it
was
together and saying,
worried.
this is what's going to happen.
I guess it's kind of going on what he said earlier. I don't make a lot of money off stocks. I dabble here and there.
Okay.
When I was gonna report last year because I think I made like 800 something
Okay.
off stocks,
Gotcha.
but I didn't put that in my taxes last
Okay.
year. I filed.
Was it like crypto or was it?
It was stocks.
Stocks, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like Amazon and JP Morgan, stuff like that.
If
But
go ahead.
I was told that because it wasn't a certain amount that I shouldn't worry about it.
Yeah.
But I sold a little bit more stocks
Okay.
this year, and I think in total now it's well over 1,500, which is not a lot. But should I go ahead and start reporting that then?
For me, and you have it on a brokerage account.
Yeah.
For me, yes and no. A lot of times with the IRS, it's a little annoying. They already have your information. Okay, I can send you the website where your transcript is. Anything that's reported to the IRS, it's there. Okay, your W-2, 1099s, mortgage statements, student loan interest, it's all there. Okay, a lot of times in a situation like that, if it's immaterial, I'd say anything over 3,000 might become material. If it's immaterial, they'll fix it on their end. You'll get a letter in the mail and say we adjusted it in that aspect, 10%, $150. You might get less of a refund, more refund, vice versa. So if you do have the brokerage statement, go ahead, but a lot of times those brokerage statements don't come out till early April,
Yeah.
and you might be trying to get your return
Exactly.
filed pretty quickly. It's not a big deal. Now, if you sold and made 50K, yeah, you're definitely going to have an issue, but they should correct it on their end, maybe get a letter, and you'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So let's say you don't sell anything, but you don't report it. Like you have a little brokerage account.
Gotcha.
Like if you have anything beyond that, like
Yeah.
I understand, but like you wouldn't get in trouble if you didn't sell anything because it's unrealized, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, sidebar on that, they're trying to potentially tax wealthy individuals, as far as, you probably know about it, upwards of X million dollars, on their unrealized gains. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense because you haven't sold it yet. So, if you haven't sold anything, you're fine. And then I recommend, depending on the stock, I've got probably 30 different investments. Wait till the end of the year. And if you can wait and take that gain in January, you've got 12 months to offset that income with something else instead of selling it, late November or something like that.
Yeah, because I took like a day trading course like a while ago,
Gotcha.
and that they recommended that, and then like take a little bit of loss to offset
Absolutely.
the taxes.
Yeah.
So I was just only asking to confirm if that's
No,
true.
you're good. Yeah,
Okay.
and it's all about strategy too. And then with losses, you probably know that as well. The max you can take on a loss is $3,000 a year.
Yeah.
So, and it'll roll over until you use it up.
Cool.
So
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. I think we're good. I've got one last thing to do, but I need to see who's here. So let me see. John sent me a list, and I might have some extras. Let me see. All right. I have Andy help me out with this. All right. I think, let me see, these are in order. I think this is.
No, that one's mine.
This motherfucker. Yeah, okay, so these are in order. Okay. So this is the list John gave me, and if I'm missing somebody, let me know. Quentin Brown. Okay. Hold on.
No,
Let me see. Put that one back. I think I have them in order. 1, 2. Let me see. Yeah, okay.
Oh.
That's you. Shadia Bowie. Should I? Okay.
Who? Miss Bowie.
Yeah, I'll take. Let me see.
That one's it?
Let me take this one. I'll do that in a second. Amelia Rodriguez. Let's see. That's for you. Garrett Pearson. Should be the next one.
Well, I figured it'd trend out.
Yeah. Okay. Gabe Sandoval.
That was Pearson.
Yeah. Pearson.
Okay.
Gabe Sandoval. I think this is right. Emily Kennedy. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. There you go. Okay. So I think I have some extras, but those of you that did get something, you can open the envelope. I call this the chaser, okay? Now, we've all had tequila before, obviously.
Never.
And John said earlier, no chasers, right? But usually take a chaser to help you, rethink the decision that you made, and then hopefully say, this wasn't such a bad idea, okay? So if you ask any people in investing, like Garrett, if you make at least 10% on a return, you're winning, okay? Anything over 10%, you're good, okay? So I wanted to put a little U.S. currency in there to let you know that it's never a bad idea to invest in yourself, okay? Never a bad idea to have tequila either. You have a designated driver. But like I said, always invest in yourself. You don't have to report that in your taxes. You're not going to get a 1099. And right? It's like, wait a second. And exactly. And then feel free to write off your mileage, your internet, your time, your cell phone expenses that you call to get up here. The IRS is not going to worry about it. And if you need help, I'll prepare your taxes for you. So, last thing I need Toronto over here. So this guy right here, y'all know he's been killing the game, right? But I've been trying to let him know that he's a big part of things to come. So personally, I want to tell you thank you. Appreciate all your help. Wouldn't be able to do this event without you. So I wanted to present this to you. You ain't got to report that on your taxes either. But I appreciate all your help.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the knowledge you put out today, man. Appreciate you taking initiative. I've been seeing him do a lot of these type of talks one-on-one, in boxings, in between shots. Because trust me, come March, April, that's when everybody starts talking to CPA.
Exactly.
You're out there, everybody's chilling, but yeah, come March, April, I see him handling his business. So I'm like, let's start getting a head start on it and put some of his information out there. And I've been trying to get him to do this since like January.
Yeah, I'm real low key, so that's
He
he's
doesn't like any of this, but I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no
Hope you
problem.
guys receive some value.
Yeah, you ain't gotta tell him. You can show him. You can look.
What's up?
time is money, so I know he's busy. So yeah.
I do have to report this, huh?
No, you're good. But that's all I had for today. So if John wanted to say anything else, but I appreciate y'all coming today. Hope y'all learned something. I'll be available. Put my business cards in there. I'll pass out some other ones. But if you need anything from me, I'm glad to help. No consulting charge. All about keeping money in my clients' pockets. So thank you for coming out today. Yeah.
I will say, go ahead and take advantage of the time that he is here right now because he is hard to get a hold of. He's hard to get in touch with. And go ahead, ask every question you need. And I think this is a good time to start talking about maybe the visions or the futures you have. Like you want to expand the consulting agency or you want to get the bartending off the ground. Even some of the business development steps that go into it, like, getting your application system in place. So it's a lot of different small things you guys got to get moving. But, oh man, I'm done. Yeah.
And then lastly, I want to thank Andy again. I hope he was able to bridge the gap from the service industry to corporate America.
Fiscal discipline is the other point I forgot to mention. Sorry.
Big time. But no, I mean, me and Andy, we've been in the trenches together. He's not joking. When he first started, they literally just said, "Have at it." He was wrecking the bank for 2 weeks at a time, and he's come a long way. And so now when we talk about things, he's like, "I can't believe I didn't know that." And so to see the company go from less than $1 million to almost 30. He won't say this, but he is the lifeblood of that company. Like, I'm not joking. If he wasn't there, it would fall apart. I'm not exaggerating. I process their business taxes, the owner's taxes, so I'm in the trenches with them as well. But he really doesn't even need me anymore. They just kicked me off the retainer that I was getting paid every single month. So he's the man. So I'd like to tell Andy thank you for coming out. And I am done.